Thank you very much indeed for having me. It's lovely to be here. This is the first time I've been to this PIP meeting. I've spoken at various other ones before, but it's really good to see actually some faces I recognise, I've met before, and some new faces. So to new people, it's lovely that you're here. Thank you for coming today. Some great topics today already. Obviously, HMOs often crop up at these events. We're always discussing the pros and cons of HMOs. So today, what I want to do is take you through some ways, if you've got HMOs or if you're investing in HMOs, how to stop them being a headache. So just by a show of hands, how many people already invest in HMOs? Just so I get a good picture. And how many of you would like to expand or start investing in HMOs this year? A few. Just by a show of hands, how many people are doing supported living or social housing HMOs? Okay, and how many are doing students? Any students? Yeah. And what about professionals? Okay, interesting. So, yeah, lots of different strategies going on. Fantastic. So what I've called this is headaches, maintenance and overheads, or huge money-making opportunity. Because my experience in HMOs shows to me that if you don't get this as a business when you first start, then very quickly it can turn into the former rather than the latter. And I'm sure many people would acknowledge that if you're already investing in HMOs. So, what kind of problems might you face or have you faced as an owner, a landlord of an HMO? Just shout some out. Yes.
The Jill call out on a pretty breeze.
So unnecessary call-outs.
Yeah,
yeah, maintenance. Okay. Anything else? Energy costs. Yeah, uncontrolled. Yeah, you keep pressing that boost button all day and walking around in their shorts and t-shirt. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so yes, problems with relationships within the HMO. Yes, very good. What else?
Toxic tenants.
Yep.
The toxic, so they've got massive evidence, basically. Because that's also society. You can't aim this back.
Yeah. And it's hard sometimes to evict the toxic tenant, isn't it? They can be the one that actually is the hardest one to go.
Licenses.
Yeah. Thank you. Go on.
Inconsistency of delivery of licensing by local authorities.
Okay, inconsistency of licensing in local authorities. Yes, I have that in my area. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What about a boyfriend or girlfriend moves in and sort of tosses the number of murders to the ledge?
Yes.
Sad, and that.
Yep. So when somebody moves in and maybe oversteps the numbers on your license, or maybe takes it into a sui generis class for planning, what then? Great. These are great questions. These are great comments, I should say. Questions and comments. You had one.
The same about the gaps between tenant and tenant.
Okay. So voids. Yeah.
Sadly, did even buy an HMO, but suddenly it's become.
Yes. Yes, okay, you didn't buy one, but you've ended up with one. Okay, great. So you've got lots of experience here understanding what these problems are. Now, usually, in my experience, you can categorize these in one of three. It's either about the money, and this is to do with the management of the property. So it's your income, it's your profitability, it's not very good, and so it's not very exciting, and so you end up losing heart and thinking, I'll do something else. The second one is it's time. It's too time consuming. You're sorting out too many problems. You're perhaps not systemized enough. You're not hands-free enough. So it's taking up too much of your time and you can't grow your business. Maybe you don't want to grow your business. Yeah. Third one is energy, where you're doing it all. You haven't got anybody you can rely on to help you. You haven't got a team in place. And you're not valuing your time sufficiently to make this work. So what I'd like to do today is just share with you some hints and tips that I've discovered in my 10 years of developing HMOs as to what I've found works really well and where I've managed to answer some of those questions. And I'm sure with everybody in the room, you can also relate to the fact that you constantly have to be on your toes when you're investing in property. whether it's HMOs or any other strategy, because the rules are always changing, aren't they? You know, this year we've got the Renters' Rights Bill, we've got EPCCs on the horizon, as we heard this morning. So there's a lot that we've got to keep abreast of, that we've got to keep up to date with. So that's important. If you're going to grow your business, you have to grow yourself too. Now, back in 2012, I was in a part-time job. I was teaching at a local university. I had 4 boys. I still have 4 boys, but they're young men now. And I was really frustrated and fed up because I was working for somebody else, making money for somebody else, and I wanted to get out of the rat race. How many of you can relate to that? Maybe you've done it. Maybe you've got out of the rat race, which is great. But maybe a few years ago, you were still in the rat race, which is where I was. And I started to learn about HMOs, and I was, sold this fantastic dream. How many of us have been to those events where we've been sold this amazing opportunity, yes? And you're told you can make thousands of pounds of profit every month, every year. Yes, that's true, you can, but it's not always as easy as they make out. So I started off very slowly. That was my first HMO in 2012, small 4-bed HMO in Crewe, Cheshire, which is where I invest. I also invest in Stoke-on-Trent. And then 2013, I did a 7-bed HMO. And that was interesting as well, learned a lot. And then I ran out of money. And I thought, well, this is great, isn't it? I can't leave my job now. I didn't have enough income to cover it, but I was stuck. Fast forward to today, I've done a total of 28 HMO developments across Crewe and Stoke-on-Trent. I have bought a pub. That's my pub down there in the left-hand corner. It is a pub. So I'm a landlord to a landlord, which is a bit weird. I've done commercial conversions. We've got commercial property now, lots of HMOs, lots of single buy-to-let, apartments, multi-unit blocks, etc. I've done a lot of strategies since then. I'm still learning, and I'm still excited about property, even though challenges are ahead. And I think we're going to have some, challenging and interesting times ahead over the next year. So over 10 years, I've created a multi-million-pound property portfolio. Also, I launched a specialist HMO lettings agency, and we now have about 240 units under management. I've written 2 books about HMOs. Sorry. 2 Amazon best-selling books. I host the weekly HMO Success podcast. Keen on keeping fit and healthy because I think that's really important. If you're running a business, you have to be healthy to make your business healthy. So I do quite a lot of running. I've run the London Marathon twice. In fact, it was great walking over Tower Bridge this morning because the last time I did that was at the London Marathon in 2021. And I've managed to raise lots of money for charity, which is very important to me to give back. A few years ago, I launched the HMO Council Tax Reform Group with a couple of other investors who are very concerned about council tax on individual rooms in HMOs. And you might have been involved in that, you might have known about our campaign, and we were successful. The only time I think a group of property investors has actually been able to fight the government and win. Yes! So, that was a really big win. Yes, you can clap if you want to. Clap yourselves as well. So we made sure that from the 1st of December 2023, no HMO that was a Section 254 HMO, yes, could be disaggregated for council tax, which basically meant that it was going to be viewed as one building from a council tax perspective rather than 6 rooms or 5 rooms or 7 rooms. So that was a very big win. Before that, from the 1st of December 2023 prior, there are still some problems. And if you're one of those landlords, as I said, do come and see me over the lunch break and I'll talk to you about it, what you can do. And as a result of the work that I've done, this is me and my family traveling a little bit and me doing the running, but I've won quite a lot of awards as well for my work, which is, it's gratifying because it was very hard getting that over the line. And as a result, a few people said, she's the HMO queen. But don't worry about me. What I want you to look at is the crown. Because inside this crown, there's a nice big jewel, a nice big diamond. And you might have heard the phrase, the jewel in the crown, which is the best or the most valuable part of something. Now, when it comes to HMOs, I think some of us sometimes think, oh, is this HMO or is my HMO portfolio the jewel in the crown of my portfolio, or is it the bane of my life? Are these portfolios really the best that I can do, or is there something else? Is there another strategy that I should be doing that's going to make me more money, give me less stress, and free up my time more? And if you've been thinking that about HMOs, then good news. I'm here to give you some hints and tips